Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. It's Friday, so today we have the Friday Friendship Club. So welcome to that. This is the symbol for the Friday Friendship Club, where we link together in community friendship and say hello to everyone. So welcome, and hopefully you will join in the chat, or if you're watching this back later, then do drop a comment and say hello. And I thank you for being here. And let's check out what's coming up on today's live stream. So today we have some Q&A, we have quiz, we have, it's Film Friday, so we have a film clip for you, something you might be extremely interested in, so look out for that. We have story time, we have community shout outs, we have question time, so we have a whole lot of different things going on today. So let's start straight away. Let's start with Quote Corner. So we'll start with Friday's Quote Corner. Now I have a little issue today. I've forgotten to change the name of my channel. You can see it there, but I've dubbed that over the top of my other channel name. So I will have to leave that there while I play other things for now, or else I'm going to forget and you'll suddenly switch to my other channel. So I haven't forgotten to take this down when I play all my clips. I will take it down for the Film Friday, but if it pops back up my other channel, then you'll know why. Okay, so let's watch Friday's Quote Corner. Okay, so there we have Friday's Quote Corner. I will be changing those up soon when I get a little bit more time. As you can see, my little bit of time today, I did know what's coming up on today's live stream. That's new. Did you like that one? Okay, let's go on to this. Now, today I'm going to do a shout out for somebody that does not have a channel, but is an avid watcher and supporter of my channel. And the person I'm shouting out today is Della Smalley, who I would never have met if I didn't do YouTube. So I only know her through the comment section on my channel. So hello to Della. I hope you're feeling better today. And Della was one of the winners of my 3K giveaway. And she has an olive tree in my garden now. So Della, if you're watching, if you send me your email, then I can actually send you some pictures of it and you will get updates. I can only do it via email. So if you send me your email to my email, and then I can send you pictures and updates as we go. The other winner was Kathleen from My Alabama Farm Life, and bless her, at the end of her videos now, because I've sent her pictures and footage of her tree as it currently stands, she keeps putting that at the end of her videos. It's very sweet. So go and watch Kathleen's videos on My Alabama Farm Life. And the recent ones she puts at the very end, she puts a little like a card up, a thumbnail up, if you like, of her other channel to go and watch. And then after that, she's got a picture of her olive tree, and she said that she won the olive tree. So do go and have a look at that channel as well. So that's my Alabama farm life. So that was very, very sweet. Okay, let's go on to this. Okay, so my quizzes are very different. Some are very hard, some are very easy, and they're very short quizzes. So we're going to start today. We'll do quiz questions today on gymnastics. Ooh, gymnastics. What do you know about gymnastics? So the first question is, in gymnastics, how many events do female athletes completing? In gymnastics, how many events do female athletes compete in? A little think about that one. How many events? Let me think. Okay, the next one. Did rhythmic gymnastics first appear in the Olympics this is rhythmic gymnastics, in 1932, 1968 or 1984? Did rhythmic gymnastics, that's my favourite to watch, first appear in the Olympics in 1932, 1968 or 1984? Ooh, I got that one wrong. I'll tell you the answers when I've done all the questions. The next one is, how many items of equipment are there in rhythmic gymnastics? How many items of equipment are there in rhythmic gymnastics? Let me think. Oh, I've got that wrong. Okay, next one. Was the first person to get the highest possible score in artistic gymnastics at the Olympics a man or a woman? Was the first person to get the highest possible score in artistic gymnastics at the Olympics a man or a woman? Okay. Next question. What is the highest possible mark given to a competitor for one routine? 10, 15 or 20? I think that's the easy question. What is the highest possible mark given to a competitor for one routine? 10, 15 or 20? I got that one right. Next question. What H is a piece of what H is a piece of rhythmic gymnastics equipment? And the next question. What are the two hoops hanging down above the ground called? Oh yes, what they jump up to and hold on, don't they? What are the two hoops hanging above the ground called? Two more questions. What kind of gymnastics is performed to music? What kind of gymnastics is performed to music? And the last question, then I'll do the answers. How many panels of judges mark rhythmic gymnastics? I guess if you've ever done gymnastics, you will find all these easy. How many panels of judges mark rhythmic gymnastics? Okay, let's do the answers. See how many you got. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 questions. So let's see how many you get. And it's one correct answer if you got the whole answer right. So if it's you have to name equipment and you only gave one answer, you don't get any marks for it if you had to say how many pieces of equipment. So no half marks, just 1 point for each question you actually got completely right. So the first question was, in gymnastics, how many events do female athletes compete in? The answer is 4. 4. Did you get that one? Tell me in the comments below how many you got right overall. Next one, did rhythmic gymnastics first appear in the Olympics in 1932, 1968 or 1984? The answer is 1984. Now, first of all, I thought 1968. Then I thought, oh, I don't know. You saw women with scarves and fancy things. So maybe it was even earlier. But no, not until 1984. I'm really shocked by that. The next one. How many items of equipment are there in rhythmic gymnastics? And the answer is 4. And I was trying to think. I thought straight away of hoop, ribbon. Oh, I got it. Hoop, ribbon, the ball, and then those like skittle things, the 2 things that look like skittles. I don't like watching that one. I like watching the ribbon and the hoop. I think they're very skillful. The ball's quite good as well, but there's only so many things you could do with the ball, whereas there's no limit to ribbon and hoop. And I do both ribbon and hoop. So oh, did I say that one right? It's 5. Oh, did I do them all? Hoop, ball, ribbon, the skittles. No, what's the 5th one? It's 5. The answer's 5. Hoop, ball, ribbon, skittles. What's the 5th one then? I don't know what the 5th one is. Tell me in the comments. It says 5. Well, I thought there's 4. No, there's 5, it says. They don't use scarves, do they? What other prop do they use? Oh, like a baton? Do they use a baton? I don't think they use a baton. I'm going to guess maybe a baton. Yeah, perhaps they use a baton. Okay, next one. Was the first person to get the highest possible score in artistic gymnastics at the Olympics a man or a woman? And the answer is a woman. What is the highest possible mark given to a competitor for one routine? 10, 15 or 20? I assume you all got that. The answer is 10. What H is a piece of rhythmic gymnastic equipment? And it's hoop. Well, we kind of had that answer so far. What are the 2 hoops hanging above the ground called? They are, of course, rings. Rings. What kind of gymnastics is performed to music? Rhythmic gymnastics. And how many panels of judges mark rhythmic gymnastics? And the answer is 3. 3. So there's the answers. How many did you get right out of all of those? Okay, let's go on to this. And I thought today I would do something I think a lot of you would be interested in. This is one of the first ever videos I put up on my main channel, New Beginnings, My Everyday Life in Rural Cyprus. And this is my house. It's a farmhouse. And with this, Basically, this is not long after we arrived here, and it's showing you renovations we did straight away on the actual house. You don't often see the inside of my house unless, like now, you just see this or background. I haven't really done another house tour. I've got a couple of videos of my home, but this is one not long after we moved in and some changes we made straight away. So I hope you enjoy this, and we'll just add that. And oh, I've got to take Tranquility name down as well.
Welcome back to Cyprus. Today I'm going to share with you some pictures of what our Cypriot farmhouse looked like internally when we viewed it, and some after photos after changes we made. This was the lounge as it looked when we first viewed the Cypriot farmhouse. Note the log fire, the slate tiles and the traditional Cypriot weave chair. On moving in, the first job was to clean the beamed ceiling, transforming it back to its original white colour. This is how we arranged the lounge when we first moved in. This is the lounge from the other direction. The bar area behind the sofa would have been the original kitchen before the previous owner added extensions to the farmhouse. Now the kitchen is through the double glass doors to the right. The toilet and shower is accessed behind the back wall of the bar. The door is out of shot. Where you see the wooden door at the back of the picture, this was a wall which we knocked through and added our homemade door. There are now 2 steps down to what was an externally accessed large storeroom and is now our double bedroom. A closer look at the bar area, which was once the original kitchen, hence a large butler-style sink. Note that we found 2 more discarded butler sinks in our garden, which I will show you another time. They are not worth any value here, unlike in the UK. Notice the shutters. Because of extensions to the farmhouse, we still have the original outside shutters and original wooden front and rear doors on what is now our inside walls. We relocated our sofa so as to look out onto our newly built swimming pool. The kitchen on the day we viewed our new home. Notice how dark the end of the kitchen is. We soon add a window. The kitchen on viewing day from the other end. Question: why would you have patio doors in the middle of your house? Notice the wooden doors behind the lady's head. This would have been the original front door. Just moved in. Those glass patio doors will soon be gone. Ask me why we bought 2 fridge freezers. There is a good explanation, but you probably won't guess why. On our first night living here, we closed the pink curtains. Next morning, opening them, we got the shock of our lives. See the next picture for what we saw. The goats come almost every day, right past our window. The way the sun lounge looked on the day we viewed our farmhouse. View from the opposite end. The window at the back looked into a large storeroom below. On moving in, see how we blocked in the window. Access is now the door in previously seen picture, rear of bar, and is now our double bedroom. We painted the wall to blend it in. The open double wooden doors would have been the original back doors to the grounds. Notice at the moment windows are opposite these doors. We changed that later by moving the glass patio doors in the middle of the kitchen to here. You can see some more internal wooden window shutters, as this would have been the original outside wall. My husband built wooden cupboards for storage. This is the back door from the far end of the kitchen. The outside of the building was all covered with corrugated metal sheets. We took it all down and rebuilt the walls. The open section you can see is the storeroom that we made into our double bedroom. The window you can see inside that is the window that was on the far wall of the sun lounge that we removed and bricked up. When buying the farmhouse, there was only hot water panels on the roof and 2 small solar panels, which was only enough for lights for 1 hour. The metal section is the storeroom before it became our double bedroom. The double bedroom completed. Yes, we do have IKEA in Cyprus. This was how we viewed, let's call it bedroom 3. This is now my language study room. This was how we viewed, let's call it bedroom 2, which is now my husband's study and YouTube creation lab. This was the garage, very cool as it had doors both ends so you could drive straight through the garage. We changed the garage into a 4th bedroom / guest bedroom. The bedroom window looks down the side of the house, past the patio and looks onto the swimming pool and views beyond. This is inside the guest bedroom.
So I hope you enjoyed that as a brief overview of our house as we moved in and some of the initial changes that we made. Of course, I will show you on future Friday clips more of our house and things we've done, but we're also going to do many other types of video as well. Friday film clips can be anything and everything. If you've got a particular request of something you'd like to see on the Friday film clips, then do let me know and I will see if I have a video on it. If not, I will make one for you. So let's go on now to, I'm on the wrong page because I had to remember to put this back up again. Let's go on to, I'm on the wrong page. What do we want? We want Q. Here we go. The question of the day is, what instruments have you ever played? Do you still play them now, or is there any instruments you wish you had played or learnt to play? So what did I learn to play? The very first instrument I remember was the recorder. Now, I know most English children always learn at school to play the recorder. I think you could loan them, but my mother didn't want me using things that other people would put their spittle in. So she got my own one. And I did enjoy the recorder. I think it is an easy instrument to learn to play. There's not that many notes on it. I can still remember how to play some of the notes. I think something was A, there's a hole at the back as well. I think A is the first 2 fingers and cover the hole, I think. B, I'm guessing, is that finger off and still this finger and that finger and the thumb at the back. Or is that C? One of them you took the thumb off the back, so that's A, B and C in there somewhere. I think one you put all 3 fingers. That might be A, B, C. I think D is the one where you take the thumb off the back. I think that's D. And then there's E and F, and I think you use the bottom fingers for E and F, and I can't remember. I think one was 2 fingers, one was 3 fingers as well on the back. I'm not sure, but I think that's something you could easily pick up, and it's quick to play. It's easy to master. If you're looking to learn an instrument, but you really don't think you can manage very much, try the recorder. They're probably cheap to buy as well. And then in middle school, junior school, we had the option of coming out of class and going to do guitar lessons. Well, of course, I was going to do anything that got out of class, and you had to have your own guitar. And my big sister had one, but she didn't want me to use hers. So, and it was a trend of the 70s to learn guitar. So I went to do it, but I think I've spoken before on my other channel about this. The guitar teacher didn't teach you actual notes. He wrote numbers and called it this and this, fourth finger, third finger, but he never linked it up to actual notes like G and whatever else. So, all right, you could probably work out what they were, but surely that wasn't teaching you to play the guitar. I didn't stick with it very long, or he left. Maybe there were complaints. I don't remember him coming very long. It wasn't that I wasn't in it anymore, just didn't go. I think pretty much, I think he probably didn't get invited back. And then my guitar was under my bed in its case. It was a soft case. It was in the case under the bed for there on after. I must have sold it at some point. Oh, when my parents built me a new bedroom in the house, I remember it going up on the wall, hanging on a cord on the wall as decor, or decor as some of you say. So I remember that. I have self-taught myself piano, and I have now a keyboard. I did have a piano in England, but didn't want the hassle of cost of bringing that to Cyprus. I did have a piano, and I think if I wanted to learn to play anything, I wish I had done straight away piano. I feel once you learn the piano, you can pretty much master any instrument because you're learning music properly. So piano for me. What about you guys? What did you first learn to play, an instrument, and what would you love to be able to play? Let me know those. So let's go on now to... Now, here's a book I've had for many years. I bought this in England not long before I left the country for good. We've never been back, not even for a brief visit in all the years we've lived in Cyprus. But I did have a great passion for the last place I lived. In fact, the last two properties I lived in, one was round the corner to the other. And they were where I lived independently of my parents. So it was my properties, my first two properties I had. And it was in a place, if you know England, you might well know it. It was in a town called Wallington, which is classed as Surrey. It's sort of South London, but it is actually postally addressed Surrey. It's very green round there, but you've got fast trains into West London where I often had to go. So it was the perfect location for me. There was a park literally round the corner and another massive manor with a park down the end of my road. It was very nice. And I really got a passion for this area. I didn't know of the area until I was house hunting. So I've got things like an old map of it. I was interested in the properties because one was Victorian and one was Edwardian. So I was looking up the history and I found some old things in the houses. In the loft, I found old newspapers and things about the people who lived there. So I got really historically interested in the properties and the area. As I say, I've got old maps of the area, I've got old books. And this is one book I found just before I left. It's called Anyone for Tennis and Growing Up in Wallington Between the Wars. And it's by Eileen Whiting. And it's one of those books I've dipped into, but I haven't sat and read from cover to cover. And it says on the back, portrait of the author as a baby, as a child in fancy dress, and below with her Sussex home today. So that's her as a baby, that's her dressed up, and that's her in another property. That looks very 1960s house. That bottom one, that looks like it was built in the 1960s. I'm very good at knowing eras of the looks of houses. And it says, the author was born in 1912 and lived in Wallington, Surrey for 53 years. Her grandfather, John Charles Albert Forstick, jobmaster, farrier and contractor, was a well-known local figure. In 1939, she married Dennis Whiting, who worked in Wallington as a local government officer from 1932 to 1965. They moved to Felpham, Bognor Regis in 1969 and are now enjoying an active retirement involved in local affairs, especially conservation and preservation. And then we've got a picture here. This is her in her cot swing in 1912. There. And then it says, Dr. Cressy standing centre with members of staff at the old cottage hospital, Rochester Road, Carshalton, now Rochester Road Clinic. And that's something else I liked about Wallington, that a lot of the old buildings still remain, even if they're different things, such as a lot of the great big old houses in that area were divided into flats, but the facades were always kept the same. So I thought I might read bits of this with you. I'll read just a tiny bit today. Maybe we'll come back to it straight away or in future episodes. Chapter 1, the early years. According to my mother, I achieved the distinction of being born at the peak of the week in those days, namely at the time of midday dinner on Sunday, July the 7th, 1912. The family doctor was famous locally for his fiery temper and was very displeased at being summoned by the already resident trained nurse at this particular time on his off-duty Sunday. There was, of course, no question of the mothers being whisked off to hospital for this event unless there was a serious emergency. And here I must digress to describe what I remember about Dr. Cressy, one of the great personalities of Wallington at that time. He was tall and very handsome and always dressed in a frock coat, complete with the grey top hat, white gloves and a monocle. He and his charming wife, a pretty lady but rarely seen, lived in a secluded large house at the bottom of Manor Road where it joins Croydon Road, surrounded by high brick walls. The surgery was not a very comfortable place, furnished mainly with hard wooden benches, with a consultation room leading off of it. Most medicines would be made up by the doctor on the spot, with assorted colourings and flavours added, then duly corked and labelled in small or large bottles. I don't recall any written records being kept, but of course notes may have been made after the surgery closed. It was a great honour to be invited into Mrs. Cressy's drawing room for some special reason. I remember it as being full of flowers and chintz covers. There was always an air of a secret tragedy to be felt, as their only son had died in sad circumstances. Whether through the Great War or an illness, I'm not sure, but I think it was the former. Dr. Cressy used to drive around to make his calls in an open carriage for many years, and would enter the house at speed, fling his hat and gloves on the hall table, and sweep upstairs to inspect the patient. Woe betide anyone who dared to argue or question his verdict and instructions. And even my father, who feared nothing on earth and later went out quite happily to the warden's post during air raids, would be cowed by the doctor's presence. My mother had several spells of illness over many years and had complete faith in Dr. Cressy to pull her through. He certainly steered her through an illness following the birth of my younger sister, which brought her close to death, and visited the house night and morning for weeks, putting the fear of God into the nurse who was caring for her and forbidding my father to mow the lawn in case the noise disturbed my mother. Later on, the horse and carriage gave way to the chauffeur-driven limousine, and the whole town mourned when the legendary doctor eventually died. He was instrumental, with others, in founding the War Memorial Hospital at Carshalton, I believe, and for some years he attended at the private nursing home in Woodcott Road, Wallington, near the present site of the town hall, where minor operations were carried out. My father did not qualify for what was then known as being on the panel, so all medical and dental fees had to be paid by him. Quite an undertaking for a man with a wife and family. By way of a postscript to my memories of the doctor, I have never forgotten the proud moment when he arrived just as I was carrying up a tray to mother. We were without help at the time, and I had to stay away from school to look after her during an illness. And he said, "If you can make a rice pudding as good as that, then you are all right." What a lovely thing to say from a doctor that people were so scared of. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know your memories. And don't forget, on this channel, I have a playlist of reading the autobiography of my nan, who was born in 1918. And if you want to watch those, very small little episodes, so there's something you can dip into while you're having coffee or tea or something like that. And obviously, if you want to listen to all the story, then just go onto the playlist and play them one after the other. I haven't finished recording them to the end of her book, and I'm actually going to go now and do some more episodes, record some more episodes. So do go and take a look at that. I think it's called, the playlist, something like Autobiography of Patricia Joyce Hurst, my grandma, born 1918. And there's some funny stories, some sad stories, all sorts of things about her life growing up. So do go and check that out. And thank you so much for being here. As I always say, I really do appreciate you. Don't forget to drop a comment to say hello so I can thank you personally for watching my channel. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I will be back live on Monday on my other channel. Oh, look, I could do this now. My other channel. New beginnings, my everyday life in rural Cyprus. That's why I had to leave the other bit up all the time, because instead of changing it before I came on the live stream, I have to keep typing it which channel I'm on. And I've actually tried to see if I can leave blank and not have anything up. No, you have to type one in. Maybe I should switch to the Dawn is Live, but then between clips I have to keep taking it down, putting it up. Anyway, thanks for being here. I will be back on my other channel on Monday and Wednesday live. Check it out and see you soon. Bye for now.